All right, we are starting off session number 1.
I feel assaulted.
All right, how is everyone doing? We're here for the first round of qualifiers here on Classic Tetris 3. We have 4 players who are all fairly skilled. We have stolenshortsword, or Stolen, up in the top left, Talvot in the top right, Kyradev in the bottom left, and Summerburst in the bottom right. You can see a variety of level starts. 2 players on level 9, 2 players on level 18.
Yes, currently, let's see. For right now, Kyradev is the highest PB player here. So Kyradev could definitely get quite a few points potentially here. Talvot also has a 1.1, Stolen having a max, I'm pretty sure very, very close to 1.1. Summerburst here also sub-max out, but you know, these are some great players here. I'm very excited to see how they do in this qual. And you know, we're gonna see some good Tetris throughout this entire day. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you know, Talvot had a really good start there. 90,000 points at I believe it was 17 lines, so like only 1 burn taken, but has gotten into a big mess ever since, and it looks like this run's going to be over.
So yeah, a bit of an early top out for Talvot, but it's all good. Yeah,
not a lot of time lost to that, so there's going to be many more opportunities to try to drop some scores. So it's gonna, my expectation here is that Kyradev's probably going to be looking for a handful of points out of this qual. Kyradev has already shown that she's capable of scoring max outs, and max outs will get you points in this qualifier, which will be beneficial to your seeding.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know exactly what the cutoff is going to look like. This is the first set of qualifiers. There's going to be a lot of variance from player to player, from session to session, and there's going to be a lot of players who are going to be very good. There's going to be some players who may not do what they expect to do. All that put together means that, like, the cutoff right now, it could be anything. I'm expecting it to be a couple points for the gold cutoff, and we will all have to see whether Kyradev is capable of making the gold cut. But knowing Kyradev's skill from what I've seen, it is possible. It is on the table.
Yeah, definitely.
And right now, Kyradev is having a fairly good game so far. Tetris rate pushing 80% as she's close to 2/3 of the way through level 18, already 355,000 points. So it's the kind of pace you're looking for if you want a 600 transition.
Yeah, this is really good pace from Kyradev. Could definitely see potentially an early 27, 26 max. Definitely possible.
Yeah, just have to maintain that efficiency going into post.
Yeah.
And that's going to require 2 important things. One, you're going to have your stacking knowledge down and make sure that you're placing pieces where they need to go. And then the other thing is to make sure that you have the mechanics down. So you need to make sure that you're using your play style to place the pieces where you want them.
It is going to be very interesting to see what the cutoff will be going into this, all of Friday and even Saturday. I'm thinking somewhere between around maybe 8 to 10 points. But because it's 30 minutes less than what there was last year, it could definitely be different. It could actually be even less than what we think. We'll have to see.
Right. One way to think of this is to consider that your average game to level 29 is about 9 minutes. Your average game to level 39 is about 11 minutes. So when you're given a 90-minute qualifying period and you're to say an average of 10 minutes per full game, if these players were to, let's say, never early top, that means the amount of full games that they have access to is going to be roughly 9, give or take. And as a result, that means that you're going to have that many opportunities to score a couple of points. That's probably going to be how many runs that you have that can potentially give you an advantage in a qualifying round. So one way to think about how easy it is to get a certain score threshold is how many maxes, 1.1s, and so on are you able to score within a 90-minute time frame, knowing that you're only going to have about 9 full games.
Yes.
Oh, and Kyradev's board definitely suffering right now. There were some misdrops that led it up to this, and we're going to see if she's able to dig this out.
Bit of a misdrop here, but...
Oh, okay. Is able to open up the right side, but unfortunately not able to.
Yeah, 575 top out for Kyradev.
Yeah. And for now, it's going to be Talvot who's going to be leading the 4 players right now, score-wise. 361,000 points, about 2/3 of the way through level 18. So this is another pretty efficient game. Has a possibility of a 600 transition as well. Just needs to maintain this efficiency all the way into 19. Meanwhile, Stolen right now, quite a messy board with level 13. Given a line count, it looks like a 13 start. 13, definitely for this speed, is going to be the most efficient scoring. So Stolen is using this knowledge about the scoring potential to his advantage. We're going to have an unfortunate top out, but plenty more chances to get a game going. Yeah, so how do you feel, Firedox, about the change in a qualifying format?
Honestly, I actually kind of, I'm really excited to see how it's going to do well with all of these players. You know, we've seen it in like smaller tournaments, you know, like with like 20 people, maybe 30 people qualifying at max. But now with the World Championships here, and like so many people are going to qualify, over 100 people going to be qualifying for this. It is definitely going to be really interesting. I'm actually really excited, and I'm kind of hoping to see some good points here for just everyone. Hope everyone plays really well.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with Grand Designs on the desire to try to have a qualifying format that where you can factor in consistency and aggression, because for me, what I think is most valuable is the fact that when you're playing a match, your goal is to outscore your opponent. Your ability to survive and your ability to score are both important. And having a qualifying format where you can get a variable amount of points depending on your final score is a good way to account for both of these. It gives you a qualifying format where what you're scoring during the qual actually better approximates how you're going to perform in a match.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm very excited. Like, I've been waiting for like this qual to be in like CTWC for like kind of like years, because I knew this has been in Tetris Wars for a while. Tetris Wars has been using this for a while, and finally this year, this is the first year it's finally happening where they're allowing this sort of like qual system. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to be and see how like all of the rollers are going to play on 29. You know, with the multiple 1.1s, 1.2s, and so on.
All right. So let's check out on these players right now. Stolen right now doing an 18 start after starting on a variety of levels, 9, 13. Going to see how well he's going to do here. Talvot, in the meantime, has transitioned 644,000 on level 21. This is a pretty good score. This is very maxable. If Talvot's able to maintain his efficiency going into kill screen, we could see a max.
Slight misdrop there for Talvot, but it definitely still an easy cleanup. Not too bad. There we go.
Beautiful pieces for that setup. Now finally back to trying to build up for Tetris's. Has another misdrop, unfortunately. But definitely making the nice safe plays, taking the burns needed to get the board back under control. Talvot probably not a fan of all of those squares, but he's making it work anyway. In the meantime, we have Kyradev, dirty Tetris, 224,000 points, 85 lines in. So unfortunately not a very high Tetris rate compared to what we saw earlier. But Kyradev still has opportunity to make up for this down the road.
Talvot is really up high right now, trying to get pieces left and right, see if they can get T. Doesn't get a T, but still able to get the burn. Gets that bar left.
Oh my God. Yeah, not a dirty Tetris setup, but still a chance to survive if he was able to get a J or a bar over to the left, but just wasn't able to do so. You have to start another game. Fortunately, one of the things that's really going to sting with this qualifying format is the quals are now shorter by 30 minutes. They are now an hour and a half rather than 2 hours. And what this means is topping out on 24, that can cost you like something like 6 minutes. And now that's a larger fraction of your qual. So the players definitely are thinking about like how to remain consistent while also trying to score. Yeah, so in some ways, there's definitely a lot of pressure on these players compared to before because, before it's just like how many max outs can I get? Now it's like, what is the best game I can get without losing time to topping out prematurely?
Yeah, I've seen like a few DAS players have been saying that like they're probably on like going to be on 28 with like just getting a max out, and they're probably just going to top out immediately just to save a little bit of time, mostly because they can't play 29 usually, right? And so that's what I've heard from other players, that's what they're going to be doing. And honestly, I do kind of understand that. That does make sense to top out early if you're not going to 1.1, and you're not going to be able to play on 29. But yeah.
Wait, I didn't know. I wasn't ready.
All right, we have Summerburst here. 9 start, 182,000 points, 84 lines. Not a bad Tetris rate. So the highest you can get going into level 10 off a 9 start is a little over 300,000 points. So we see a 194 with still some Tetrises possible to be scored. You're looking at a pretty solid 9 start here. And I'll let y'all know a little fun fact about me. I love 9 starts. 9 starts, a bit of a sleeper agent. You can get some pretty good scoring on 9 starts. In fact, I, as a at the time 1.2 player, actually PB'd on level 9.
That is insane, dude. Yeah, PB'ing on level 9 is kind of crazy. Yeah,
had a 1.22, then got a 1.23 off of it.
That's a crazy stat.
It was like 650 in a 19.
I was about to say, did you have to do 29 play to get that?
No, it was just in the kill screen.
You can get that pace on 9 star?
Oh yeah, 720,000, 726 I believe is the highest you can get with no pushdown into level 19.
Oh, I didn't know that. You gotta play super efficient, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Dude, I should go for level 9.
Talbot really up high with this center well. Gets a
he's committing.
Yeah, he's committing for this Tetris. Gets the bar for the Tetris.
He's going to go for another one. He's going to burn it down. Oh, going to have to burn it down now after those misdrops, and unfortunately that run's going to end.
But we move on here to Kyradev, 535 at 23.
Yeah, this is not the pace you want to see. However, with this qualifying format and the fact that Kyradev is rolling, it's still useful to keep this game alive and try to make something out of it.
Yes. So we'll see what Kyradev tops out with here. Seems to be going left well. Gets the left well Tetris, 600,000 at 24.
Beautiful. Kyradev is one burn away from opening up the right side. It's going to do so.
I'm trying to go level 0 start max out, but not just a level 0. I want to, what I do at the beginning of the game is I stack them way up the ceiling and delete a single Mino. I want to get an odd Mino max out.
Oh, that would be nuts.
You know that on average makes your parry worse?
I know. I wanted to see if 19 felt different, and it feels different, but I can't put my finger on it. And there was one time when I only had a single Mino on the screen. I'm like, that's cursed. That's cursed. It hurt me.
All right, looking at the boards, Kyradev level 26 with a 670. But the misdrop on the left side. This is very dangerous. The bar is not going to make it over, and that's going to be it for this run. So currently, no points for any players at the moment. It's just going to be the highest score that they have for their qual. But it does mean that I believe Talvot is the one who's leading the 4 right now with the 700 top out on 24 earlier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, Summerburst on level 14 has made it quite a few levels past 9. Currently sitting at 307,000 points. It's a decent score with enough efficiency. This can 4 to even 500 going into 19. But before that happens, Summerburst is going to have to get out of this mess.
Yeah, we'll see if Summerburst is able to get out. A pretty messy stack, and the squares are not helping with this at all.
Also, I had a brief look at Stolen's board, and oh my god. So there was an overhang on top of a Vitz. And this is exactly the kind of board you will get 90% of the time. So you definitely have to be careful. Oh, the pullback of the L is going to do it for Stolen. Going to have to try again.
Yeah, Summerburst and Stolen both top out.
So about 15 minutes have elapsed in this qualifier. Hour 14 minutes remain. So these players are about a sixth of the way through. And right now, again, Talvot is leading the 4 with a 700,000. All right, right now, Talvot, 356, 78 lines. It's a good game so far. Crossing the 400,000 mark. So this is another run that can potentially 600 transition if he's able to maintain this efficiency.
All right. You know, while like all these players are on 18 and on level 9, you know, while everyone's starting out their game, let's give a big shout out to the Tetris company for sponsoring all 17 CTWCs. You know, don't forget to follow at Tetris_official on Instagram to keep up on all things Tetris.
Wow, 17. There's already been 17 CTWCs.
Yeah, there's been 17 CTWCs. It has been a long time since this started. Like when this started, I was like, I'm pretty sure I was like, 4 years old. And now, you know, they've been here, for 17 years. So it's actually been like insane all the way since 2010.
Yeah, here at Classic Tetris, we are grateful for the work and the support of the people at the Tetris company for making this happen, for all of the commentators, the spectators, and the players and the organizers involved, as we definitely all enjoy being able to witness top-level classic Tetris play.
Yes, we all do, 100%. It is so much fun watching, like, everyone like, play in matches and stuff, like, in person. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. So, you know, thank you for the, like, Tetris company for sponsoring for, like, all 17 CWCs.
And with that, we are about to witness, very likely, a transition into level 19, but Talvot's going to have to address his double flip. One more line to level 19, but the well's going to be open just in time. Takes the safe triple into a Tetris. 548 transition for Talvot, and still alive.
Yeah, that was very close to topping out, but got the right pieces to burn out of that. And, you know, with rolling, it just made it even easier. And now Talvot's back to the bottom. 576,000 at level 20.
Yeah, this is another game that can potentially max, just needs to keep up the pace. You're looking for, as a rough estimate, a 60% Tetris rate. You can see the Tetris rate is at 62, although it may come down with this dig. And unfortunately, there's a couple of misdrops that's going to complicate this further. Oh, that square is going to open up column 3, gets a bar in there, and opens up column 3 again, waiting for a long bar or perhaps even a J piece. Gets the bar, gets a triple, and beautiful L to the left. Going to allow some more burns. Gets the bar over to the right side. Left side's going to need something. Could hold for a bar or maybe use a J and get that dirty Tetris.
Dirty left wall Tetris from Talvot. 628,000 at 22.
All right. And what is... Oh, the misdrop.
Another misdrop again. Needs a J piece. It uses a Z.
All right, the L goes right. Still able to take burns and get the board back down, but now there's a dependency in the middle of the stack. He's able to keep taking burns, but the board just keeps climbing, and the bar doesn't make it over. Talvot done at 635. It's not going to beat the highest score that it already has of the 7-0. That's a 702.
That's 702,000 from earlier. So, yeah, Talvot will have to start again. But, you know, still an hour and 10 minutes left. So definitely a lot of time to still get some good scores in. And, you know, we'll see what happens here. Let's see if we can see a max out sometime soon.
I was just noticing the mic peaking. Not when you guys were talking. They were talking. Still happening. Never mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun action happening over there at CT1, CT2, and you know, we're having to share some space with them, so you're gonna hear some pretty exciting drama happening in the background. But here in the meantime, though, it is still some very interesting Tetris that is unfolding right now. We have Kyradev, who's has another deep 18 run, and this time the pace is back. We're talking 476 out of 100 lines, a game that could 600 transition. So far, Kyradev has been struggling here and there with some misdrops, but this board is looking clean, and the placements are looking clean as well. We're going to see if she can keep this up.
You know, someone's asking in chat, how do these quals work actually? They try to get the highest score until when? So yeah, basically these quals are kind of like a point system.
T-Storm.
So yeah, these quals are kind of like a point system. Basically, you have to get a max out, which is 999,999 points, which is considered a max out, and you get 2 points for that. And every 100,000 extra you get on top of a max out, so if you get like a 1.1, you get 3 points. You get a 1.2, you get 4 points, and you know, so on.
Right, and the highest score you get in the qual will be the way that any ties get broken.
Yes, that is true. So if someone has, you know, 20 points and has a 1.34, and if another person has 20 points and only has like 1.25, the person with the 1.34 will have the higher seed.
Yeah, it seems a little complex at first, but it is fairly straightforward once you see it in action. We have Kyradev, 623 transition, really good 18 play here. We're going to see how she follows this up on 19. Yeah, the 50% increase in the speed is going to change somewhat the risk management. All right, gets a Tetris, but now has to deal with the right side.
There we go, gets the burns. And it seems like have a clean board again. Gonna try to stack up for a Tetris. 685,000 for Kyradev at 21.
Yeah, and with that Tetris, that is going to be the highest score seen in this group of players. Now 713,000 points, just entering level 22. Is going to have a bit of a mess to clean, but 2 sets of burns, and just like that, the board is in good shape. Although not in perfect shape, and now another hole has to be created to keep the stack under control. Looks like 2 L dependencies there, although the board's going to get a little more complicated as the pieces didn't show up right away. It's a common situation, but the players do know how to deal with this, as they've definitely been here before. Just like that, Kyradev is clean once again. This time Tetris ready. Oh, that left side, that misdrop's going to complicate things. And a double flip with a long bar is going to put her in danger. And unfortunately, that's a top out at 731.
Yeah, multiple misdrops for Kyradev there. Misdropped all of those pieces on 23. Very unfortunate, but 731,000 is the highest we've seen here on this stream so far. So, you know, it is not too bad.
Yeah, and that's going to put her ahead of Talvot, but Talvot has the potential to fire back. We're looking at 443 at 104 lines. You're getting bombed. What? Do we have the ball? All right, Summerburst making it all the way to level 16, 342,000 points. So this is potentially the farthest Summerburst has gone so far in this session. And this has the potential to be 400,000 or more going into level 19. Ends up with a bit of a jagged left side, but gets a T-piece. That's going to help. Now the board is flattening out. In the meantime, Talvot, messy board. Not what you want to see 9 lines before transition. And now it looks like 3 of the 4 players are digging.
Yeah, Kyradev, the only clean stack right now. Stolen tops out, 230,000. Talvot, 2/3 up the board.
Oh,
into 19.
This is a mess. Oh, the J didn't make it over, and Talbot's done.
Does not get it left. But Summerburst, is still stacking 382,000 at 189 lines. Goes into 19.
Oh, I don't know if that was an intentional S placement, but this board is looking awkward. Summerburst struggling a bit on level 19. Speeds may be a little too quick. Going to be a top out of 384,000 points, but I think that's the best I've seen from her so far. And with that, pretty much every player is early in the game.
All right, while these players playing, starting these games again, let's give a big thank you to the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo. Hosting the CTWC for the last 3 years here in Pasadena, California. I've been here since 2024, and I've been here like 2024, 2025, and 2026, the 3 years that the CTWC was held here. And it's been really fun. And, just a massive shout out to the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo for hosting us.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the move here to Pasadena. I will miss CTWC being held in Portland, but I'm having a great time here. So, and it seems like the people here who work at the SoCal Gaming Expo, they're great people. And, ooh, that is an unfortunate set of hangs there from Kyradev, and that last bar does not make it. Valiant effort. But yeah, again, shout out to SoCal Gaming Expo. In the meantime, with the other players, Talvot doing a 19 start, 156,000 points, going for a T-spin, gets the T-spin into a Tetris to get to 182,000 points. So 19 starts seem to be working for Talvot. And that 68% Tetris rate also confirms that this is a pretty good game for him. And also stolen 76,000 points, currently on level 18.
I walked 6+ miles in my slides on the side of the road, and this foot is just, it's right through here, feels like someone took a hammer to it. I wasn't expecting to walk so much.
Ooh, tricky board for stolen.
Tennis shoes, I just wear slides. I usually don't have a problem with it.
Oh, the square's gonna hang, unfortunate.
It really hurts this time. I wear slides 24/7.
Talbot seems to be doing well on these 19 speeds. Seems to be at least a little bit more comfortable, getting quite a lot of Tetrises. Tetris ready already, and gets the bar. There we go, 291,000, and another Tetris to go up to 300,000 at 70 lines.
All right, board's climbing a bit. The left side's a bit low. That's not the most comfortable position for players to be in, but thankfully Talvot's able to start filling in that part of the board and able to knock down a Tetris in the meantime. Now has to deal with 2 dependencies in the stack. Gets pieces for both of them right away. And the board, just like that, will return to a much healthier state. Now Talvot just waiting for a long bar. There it is, 368,000 at 85 lines. This is better than some of the paces that Talvot had on 18. So this goes to show, as Firedox was mentioning earlier, just how comfortable Talvot's playing on 19 right now. In the meantime, we have Summerburst, who was halfway through level 9, 80,000 points. Was in and out of some digging, so doesn't have the best looking pace for Summerburst standards. Summerburst definitely capable of getting higher Tetris rates there, but just going to try to make this game work anyway. There's plenty of room for more scoring in the later levels. And also Kyradev, 163,000 points, 48 lines. Sets up a dirty Tetris. It's going to take a burn, but remains Tetris ready. She's just looking for the long bar and trying to take some burns here and there to keep the well open and the board manageable. Finally, the Tetris is going to show up, but only after doing a misdrop, and could result in some more burns. But that might have to wait until after this next dirty Tetris setup. Let's see if the bar shows up. It does, but after the well was covered, Kyradev going to have to wait for the next one. And that bar is going to have to be used to try to get the well back open. And finally, Stolen early on level 9 start. So, Stolen just trying to find what start is going to be comfortable and produces the best results. We've seen 9, 13, and 18 starts. But we haven't seen any of the level 10, 11, 12 speeds being used here. I wonder if Stolen's going to consider that at some point. Oh, we have a transition for Talvot.
Also want to give a warning to all the players. There is 1 hour remaining for quals. 1 hour remaining.
All right, Talvot. Misdropping the T. It looked like a dig that Talvot was going to survive, and then unfortunately the misdrop just cut off the right side of the board and rendered the game unplayable. All right, right now, player is furthest in. It's actually both Summerburst and Kyradev, though Kyradev's line count going to climb a little faster due to Summerburst starting on 9 and Kyradev starting on 18. Score right now, 326,000 for Kyradev. So not the hottest pace we've seen so far, but with enough efficiency, there is room for a high 400s transition. Kyradev set up for a Tetris, waiting on the long bar. Shows up pretty quickly. She'll go to 373. Summerburst in the meantime, about to hit level 10 off of this 9 start. Goes in at 165,000 points. Nice clean board. Gonna allow her to score even more points, especially after getting that long bar. And this could be another potential run for Summerburst to get perhaps a 400K off of this. If she's able to continue scoring Tetrises going into 19. Oh, nasty hang for Talvot. Gonna get the Tetris to lower the stack. That's gonna help a lot. Gets the double tuck of the bar. It's effectively a double Vitz on the right side. Talvot almost done with the dig, and in the meantime, Kyradev has transitioned at 474. So Kyradev is going to need to have the post-transition be more efficient than the pre-transition in order to max this going into kill screen.
Yes, but definitely on pace to beat their previous high score. So, only around 230,000 points away from beating their previous high score just set, a few minutes ago.
All right, there's a Tetris. Kyradev has an option of trying to set up another one or just trying to bring the board back down and go to the traditional right well. It looks like there will be a right well, but not as traditional as it's a row 2 setup. Oh, misdrop of the J piece, misdrop of the long bar, but gets that long bar over to the right side, but hangs another one.
But gets that bar over.
Looks like there's some long bar parity happening here. Every other one making it where it needs to go. Though, unfortunately, the board's getting a little too high for Kyradev to manage. All right, that's going to leave Stolen and Summerburst with the deepest runs right now. They're at 95 and 142 lines, respectively. They've both done 9 starts. And their scores are quite similar, which really is a testament to Stolen's pace right now. As having a similar score but 5 levels back is definitely a sign that you have a much higher Tetris rate. And you can look at the Tetris rate and see 77% versus 45%. So Stolen with the potential to get a really decent score, especially if he's able to continue this efficiency on the later levels where you can score more points per Tetris.
Yeah, Stolen is so early on that Stolen has so much room to be able to score so many Tetrises here. We'll see how well they'll do, going on to level 12 and then the 15 speeds and then 18 speeds and so on. But right now, Stolen kind of up high. See if we'll be able to burn down. There you go. There you go. Stolen seems to be good. All right, Tetris ready, waiting for the bar. Where's the bar at? He's not really able to burn kind of cleanly. Gonna have to put that S on the right side. Still waiting for the bar. There's the bar. 314,000 for Stolen on level 12.
Talvot with a high board, 91 lines in, trying to get this board back down. Opens up column 9. It's not a Tetris-ready setup, but it will still help a lot in bringing this board down to the bottom. Ooh, stack scores on the left side, but gets a bar over. Oh, the double flip of the S piece. It's going to complicate this dig. It's probably going to take a little bit longer as a result. Unfortunately, Talvot just losing a bit of control of the board after multiple misdrops. Burning up top, but not able to get the J and continue to dig.
All right, Summerburst here, 370,000 into 19. I'm pretty sure this is higher than their last top score, but it's not able to get that bar left. And yeah, it seems like Summerburst is going to top out there. 372,000 for Summerburst.
That's a fine score. Meanwhile, we have Kyradev now doing 19 starts, 238,058 lines. Not too shabby. Stolen also 409 on level 15. This is a good game for a 9 start.
Yeah, very good pace. 76% Tetris rate here. Another Tetris, 428,000 on 15 from a 9 start.
Stolen's able to keep this up. This could be a run that goes more than well over 500,000 points into level 19. Just has to keep the board intact and make it that far into the game. And definitely you can see with these placements that Stolen is interested in trying to survive, trying to take some safe burns, placing pieces on the right. Fortunately, the pieces just aren't ideal. The well is open in column 8, but gonna have to close it as the long bar did not show up in time. All right, the right side's open. Beautiful bar for a double, and that's gonna be a nice triple. So Stolen is almost out of this. Bar dependency formed on the left side, but thankfully the bar is going to show up after Stolen does some nice placements on the right side to keep the burn options on the board. It's going to be very important for survival.
Oh, there we go. Needs that J. Gets that J.
All right, 4 lines until transition for Stolen. There's a double. There's another double into 19, 479.
Seems to be playing a little bit safer. Stolen is an emulator player, so probably is not that used to like console timings. So definitely going to play a little bit safe here, getting some singles, getting some doubles, going to line out a little bit here. We'll see what Stolen gets here with this game, because that was a really good pace.
Also, we have a 9 start from Kyradev. Got it. If it works, it works, right?
Yeah, if it works, it works. W9 starts all around.
Absolutely. So Stolen managing to survive still on level 20, but unfortunately going to hang an S in the middle of the board. That pullback Gonna cost the run.
At 501,000 at level 20.
In the meantime, hello Bendy, hello Summer, not to be confused with Summerburst. Hello Hana, and hello Tacit Turn. And Hana saying W Jockey Pulse.
Yeah, thank you, Hana. W Jockey Pulse.
And Ensign Sky, hello as well.
Yeah, welcome in all of the, the Twitch chatters coming in to watch CT3. Probably has all the streams pulled up. Definitely probably a big fan of all the different Classic Tetris channels and see who's playing in all of them. So welcome in. Hope you're all enjoying the quals for session 1. Right now, there's still 49 minutes left for session 1, and then session 2 will start 30 minutes after these quals end.
Yeah, it seems that the chatters have figured out, the amazing strat. We can do that's better than watching a Tetris stream. Watching 4 of them. Oh, the misdrops for Stolen. Stolen trying to make this 18 start work, but gonna have an early top. Kyradev, in the meantime, back to level 19. Early on in the run. Looking for something for the right side. Gets the bar over. He's able to take some burns, bring the board down to safety. Talvot, in the meantime, deep run on level 18. 383,102 lines. It is possible to get a 500 transition off of this. And AV Geek, hello. Fancy seeing you here. Got another W Jockey Pulse. Hello, Doc Pie. Hello, Frodo Dodo.
That's cool.
Oh, an incredibly important request for T-Storm. All right, let's hear it. While we wait for that request, we are seeing Talvot make it almost all the way to the end of level 18, transition around the corner, already has the 500,000, and now we're going to see how far he can take this.
Four lines left of 28. Might take a burn here, but might just wait for the Tetris. Now it seems to take the burn. The bar is not showing up in a drought here right before 19. Just going to burn right in. There's the bar, 529,000 for Talvot. Talvot seems to be playing a little bit safe, not trying to set up the Tetris immediately.
Definitely.
Takes 2 doubles.
Yeah, and Talvot definitely needed to play safe there with all the square spamming that was going on there.
Yeah, a ton of squares showed up there. But, it seems to be burning down right now and should have a clean board any second. Oh, it seems to be setting up.
Okay. Yeah, Talvot sees this row 2 setup and goes clean enough. However, not going to wait too long for row 2 Tetris. Going to burn everything back down, basically reset the board. Now is Tetris ready, and the bar shows up as soon as he's set up, and that'll take him to 600,000 points. Definitely what Talvot's been waiting for, another good run here that can beat the 702 that he scored pretty early on in this qual.
It's here, double well for Talvot. Puts the bar in column 9, waiting for the bar now. There we go, gets the bar, 664,000 at level 23. So maybe a smidge behind max out pace, but definitely still maxable, just with a tiny bit more efficient play here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that dig situation definitely not helping the pace, but the thing is, with rolling, you can just play level 29.
That is true. Talvot is rolling. You can see he has the glove on, and it might be just a little bit out of frame, but he is definitely rolling here. And you can see by the piece movement, he's like going really fast left and right. There you go, another Tetris. 740,000 for Talvot. Needs a bar left. Needs something to tuck in there. Has to create a hole. A little bit of a messy board. Gonna have to do a bit more burning here.
Oh, these are some great pieces to help get the board down a little bit lower. Right side's back open. Looking for a long bar. There's a long bar. It's only going to be worth a double, but there is an option of row 3 setup, and that is the option that Talvot's going to take, but not going to hold out too long. Going to take the safe burns.
Yo, Tetris ready though right now. See, where's the bar at? Wait for
the
bar.
misdrops.
Misdrops.
Definitely needs a bar right now, and will get it after a safety triple. Talvot stays alive, but is Talvot able to get this board back down to safety? It's definitely going to be a little bit more difficult than the earlier one.
Yeah, very, very up high. Needs something left. Is not able to get that J left.
And
Talvot
unfortunately, that is a top out at 769 on level 27. However, that is Talvot's best game.
Big yell.
All right, Summerburst right now, level 14, 357. It's a good-looking score right now. This is 376 on 15. So this is a pretty strong pace, and I think this is higher than anything we've seen from Summerburst so far. The previous game was in the 370s, but that was on level 19. And this time, Summerburst has 4 full levels to play with before level 19. So we're going to see how far Summerburst is able to take this game.
Yeah, this is very, very good pace for Summerburst here. Definitely already has their highest score so far now with this pace.
All right, Summerburst into level 16. 424, so first 400 of the session. Gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup, but makes a beautiful T placement that allows the bar to open up an LJ dependency on the right side of the stack, and just like that, Summerburst is all clean, ready to score another Tetris and pile on more points. We might even see a 500 here. 2 Tetrises and change will be enough to do so. And Summerburst staying clean, makes an adjustment for the square to get Tetris ready. Beautiful play here from Summerburst as she gets another Tetris and goes to 473. Can we see the 500 into 19?
Yeah, would need a Tetris and I'm pretty sure a double.
Oh, that's going to complicate things. Summerburst was waiting for a flat piece down the middle, did not get it, and just had to settle for a jagged piece to go down there. Oh, gets the L to the left. He's taking the burns, enters level 19, but there's some material that needs to be cleared on the right side. Sets up the Tetris, needs a long bar. Summerburst is holding off for this long bar. The long bar shows up, but it didn't make it to the right side. 485 will be the top out score. All right, so I did see the request. I am supposed to be riding the Metro to the terminus. And that'll be a fun experience. I like trains. And Jadestone with the CT3. I am going to make sure at some point during the day I get a hold of the CT3 t-shirt.
Yes, there is CT3 t-shirts here on sale at CTWC. So I'm also maybe going to try to get one. But
and when I buy it.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
I was just going to say, I'm going to try to be able to get one. Not fully sure if I can, but if I can, I'm definitely going to buy it. Definitely going to wear it while, playing, if I'm playing on the main stage or not. I'm going to be wearing it. So we'll see what happens. I'll see if I'll be able to get it.
And when I get a hold of the t-shirt, if there's ever an opportunity for the cam to point to me, you will see me wearing the CT3 shirt. Y'all, it is exactly as hype as it sounds.
Yeah, the design here is really good for the shirts, the CT3 shirts.
All right, let's check in on our players. It looks like there are all early games. 234 from Kyradev, leading the pack right now. 90,000 for Stolen, 32 lines in. Talvot, only 9 lines in. And Summerburst, 40,000 points, 19 lines in. And right now we'll take this moment to give a shout out to another sponsor for Classic Tetris World Championship. Take it away, Firedox.
Yeah. A big shout out to Aurica/TGM4. TGM4 is now available on the Nintendo Switch. And right now, the game is actually currently on sale on Steam for $24.99. I have a few friends that play TGM, and there is going to be a TGM4 tournament later on tonight after quals are finished. So hope you all stick around for that. It is definitely going to be very fun. We're going to see a lot of the top TGM players from Japan here. So it is going to be really good.
Oh, look at that dirty Tetris from Summerburst. Talvot also with a dirty Tetris setup of his own, but it ended up getting covered and then uncovered. But looks like the game's not going to work out. In the meantime, hello, Landon. Hello, Piper. All right, so right now we have Stolen, who's actually got a decent run going. 70 lines into level 18. It's the farthest I've seen from Stolen on this level start. 204,000 points. Currently navigating a drought as he waits for a column 3 Tetris and will get rewarded.
Yeah, playing the pal well here with the column 3 strats. This is a pretty W. The Adam MTS well.
For sure.
Seems to be working out, though,
Oh, but that misshift is going to turn this board into a mess very quickly. Able to get a bar to the left side. Is still unable to do anything else. All right, he's able to take a burn. Needs something left. Oh, nice T-flat burn. But the J is not going to get double rotated, and that's going to end Stolen's run at 254, which is still pretty good. However, it is not the 500 that we've seen from Stolen so far.
Right now, Kyradev at 427,000, 113 lines. This is a pretty good score from Kyradev so far. Waiting for the bar, but in a bit of a drought here. 20-piece drought. 25. There we go. There's the bar. 452,000 for Kyradev.
Yeah, and that means we are expecting a 500 transition. There is 499, which is 1 line to go. Even taking a single into 19 will be a 500. And instead, she'll get the Tetris to transition to 523. This is going to be another good opportunity to, improve the qualifier with this game. In the meantime, we've Stolen tricky high up board. Summer a little bit tricky board as well, but lower, a little bit safer. Summer's taking the burns needed to get this board back under control. And finally, Talvot, nice clean board, almost at the halfway mark through level 18. Looks like the rolling is pretty comfortable on Kyradev's end. We're seeing a 607 on level 21. Gets the Tetris, gets the beautiful J double to clean up the right side. She was going to have to address that at some point, so it's good that it happened early. And now she can go right back to focusing on setting up Tetrises. And look at how fast that score has climbed. 664 now on level 22. So that pace is climbing. One of the good benchmarks to see for a max out is a 700 on level 23, and that is exactly what we're seeing as she scores a Tetris go to 725.
Another Tetris there for Kyradev, 756,000. at the very beginning of 24. Definitely max out pace here. Has quite a bit of lines to burn still. This is looking really good and has the potential to be the highest score that we've seen.
In fact, one Tetris will be enough for that to be the case, and there it is, 789. That's going to beat the 769 that Talvot had. Except this time, Kyradev is still alive and scoring, but currently in dig mode as there are 2 holes in the middle of the stack.
But there we go. First 800,000 here at CT3.
And one of the benchmarks at this point is to look for 800 on 26. That still means that a max out in the kill screen is on the table. Ideally for Kyradev, she can get the Tetrises now so that she can get the max out without having to rely on playing 29, which is much more difficult. Rolling allows 29 to be playable, but it is still preferred for, oh my god, that bar left. Still preferred that players don't have to rely on 29 to get the scores they're looking for.
Bit of a misdrop there with that T. Not able to get
needs
that
a bar
left.
right now, but the bar's not going to show up. That said, 818, best score of this group. In the meantime, transition to level 13 for Summerburst, 247,000.
K Lovelace in chat saying, "Let's go Talvot." So we've seen multiple players here, that are cheering on some of the other players that are qualifying right now, and it's just so awesome to see this community watching here, either in the tournament, like in person, or even online, and just chatting, encouraging each other, and it's just amazing seeing this community grow as much as it has. It is a very, very great community. I'm very happy to be in it.
Yeah, there's a few experiences that give me a clue as to the health of the Tetris community, quite like seeing faces that I haven't seen before. I love to see that there are new players who are keeping this community alive. And I've also, these players here, I also have some, some experiences either, talking with them, meeting them, or even playing matches with them, or being hosted by them. So Stolen, known CTAP restreamer. CTAP basically a format where you're basically playing hyper tapping in a competitive format.
I got the last one.
And then we have Talvot here, who I actually had the pleasure of playing in last year's CTWC. And then there's Kyradev, who I believe I've had a war session with before. And Summerburst, who I believe I've seen in an in-person live event, may or may not have been CTWC. Summerburst, not able to get an L to the left side, going to top out 333. And with that, we are pushing the 1 hour mark into this qual. That means there's about 30 minutes remaining for the players. Right now, the player farthest in is Stolen, 215 on level 11. Going to take a nice double down the middle. It's a good long bar to the right side. Leaves the S open to burn a single and continue allowing the stack to return to a healthier state. And with that long bar single, the well is open, the board is clean, but then that misdrop is going to put Stolen right back into a digging situation. Is able to reopen the well, but has to cover it again as this board is not in good shape. A beautiful square double there from Stolen. Stolen once again getting the well open, and this time immediately gets rewarded with a long bar Tetris to go to 241, now on level 13. Meantime, Kyradev crossing the halfway mark on level 18, 291. This is a fair amount of efficiency. So this could potentially be another run with potential for Kyradev.
While these players are mostly starting out and a little bit early on, let's give a shout out to Hyperkin. Hyperkin has supported the CTWC since the beginning, since 2010. They have helped Tetris communities around the world by sending them NES consoles and controllers. Hyperkin leads the way in the retro and modern entertainment industry with unique, fun, and innovative items, including the Retron console. Check them out at hyperkin.com.
So I heard you have a Hyperkin yourself?
Yes, I do in fact have a Hyperkin, and I think I'm the only player here that rolls on a Hyperkin and that is going to be competing, rolling on a Hyperkin.
So tell me, what's your experience with it?
I actually really enjoy it, and it's kind of funny. There's a little bit of hate, not exactly like hate, more so they don't exactly recommend. But to be honest, rolling on a Hyperkin is actually not that bad at all. Personally, I have a rollover, which is one of the highest achievements you can really get with rolling, and I was able to do it with the Hyperkin controller. And if I can do that, like anyone can do that. Anyone is able to get like really, really good scores with a Hyperkin controller, and they're a really good brand. I definitely support them.
All right, and with that, let's go back to our players. We have Kyradev in a bit of a messy stack, but is so far making some progress in getting the board back down.
Thank you.
And then we have Talvot here, 55 lines in, 169,000 points. Kyradev, 415, going to get a dirty Tetris, and could be in a position to clean this up in time for transition, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Kyradev ready for the Tetris to go into level 19, looking for that long bar, but going to have to wait just a little bit. There's a triple into a Tetris, 472, now in level 19. This isn't going to be an easy game to max due to the relatively lower transition score. However, it is still on the table, and even without that, this can still be an opportunity to improve on the recent 800,000 that Kyradev has just gotten. Rest of the players are fairly early on. Summerburst halfway through level 9, and Talvot a little more than halfway past more than halfway through level 18.
Oh, Kyradev actually misses the Tetris. The bar doesn't fully go all the way right. Waiting for another bar here. Takes the burn, gets the bar right. 561,000. Oh. Yeah, okay.
Running to that every other bar situation, similar to a previous game, but this time, though, able to maintain control. Oh, beautiful adjustment to get Tetris ready. There's a Tetris with a perfect transfer for Kyradev. 646 here on level 23. Beautiful places on the left side as well. Kyradev in a really good shape right now, but gonna have another misdrop. Needs to get another bar over, but this board keeps climbing. Hopefully Kyradev has some burn options just in case. Not gonna need it right now as the bar is gonna show up in time, but the board is starting to get a little bit messy as there's a couple of holes, and now that left side and right side are looking in bad shape.
No.
Unfortunately, none of the left taps were successful, and Kyradev's gonna be done at 679.
Yeah, Kyradev was just not able to get that J piece left, and then tried to get the L piece left as well to maybe save it, but both were just not able to make it left.
And with that being said, Kyradev still leading this group of players right now. The only one to hit the 800,000 mark, and is clearly getting multiple runs with the potential to go farther than that, but just needs to do whatever is needed to keep the misdrops at bay, because it seems like Kyradev is definitely stacking well enough to get these scores. right, right now, deepest run is Summerburst. Started on level 9 again, transitioned to level 10, 235,000 points, decent amount of efficiency. Looking for a long bar down the right side to add more to that score, but currently Summerburst is experiencing a drought, 23 pieces and counting. Give Summerburst a bar. What is this drought? 32 pieces.
35 pieces. There we go.
And back-to-back bars as a reward. That was some great survival on display from Summerburst. You look at the stack, it was nice and clean. You could barely tell there was a 30 drought. That drought management is a key skill set to have in order to survive whatever the RNG gives you, or in this case, fails to give you. All right, right now we have Kyradev about halfway through, level 18, 302,000 points. Solid efficiency. Unfortunately, had a couple of fortunate placements, and that's going to cause a slowdown. Those holes on the left side, probably best mitigated by getting a long bar to put down the right side. However, currently, Kyradev is experiencing a drought. Bar is taking its sweet old time to show up. Hopefully it doesn't last as long as Summerburst's drought. However, that piece count is climbing, 29 pieces, and unfortunately there's a bar dependency on the left side. She gets the J over. Finally, the bar shows up after more than 30 pieces of waiting. It ended up being a similar drought to Summerburst, and Kyradev's going to manage that one too. Again, highlighting how important it is that players know how to navigate these droughts.
See here, Summerburst, 363,000 at level 16. This is a really good game so far from Summerburst here.
I agree. With enough efficiency, 500 might still be on the table, though that will be difficult, as it doesn't leave a lot of room for burning.
Yeah.
So Summerburst probably just looking to keep the game alive.
Currently trying to beat their 400 and...
It's a 480, I believe.
Yeah, 480,000 from a little bit earlier. So within
3 Tetrises will be enough.
3 Tetrises, yeah.
And there are 3 Tetrises worth of lines remaining. In fact, that also leaves 3 burns to spare as well, so Summerburst might not even have to play aggressively to get this. This might be just enough to eke out a 500. Let's see if it happens. Yeah, 476. If Summerburst gets a Tetris here, then that is the 500K. All right, Summerburst is Tetris ready, just waiting on the long bar, and still has burn options. Definitely doesn't need to sell the stack for it. And the long bar shows up, and there's the 500. 500,006. What a score. But Summerburst is not done yet. Gonna try to eke out a couple more lines for topping out. 501 is the final score.
There we go, Summerburst's first 500 of the qual. Kyradev also getting pretty close to transition. 456,000 into 19.
Yeah, Kyradev running into and out of digs repeatedly after having a pretty efficient first half of 18. So unfortunately, it's led to a massive slowdown. So a bit behind on pace, but this game still still has a lot of scoring potential that remains. Just needs to be able to maintain the efficiency and try not to get into too many digging situations. However, this dig is a major one due to some jagged pieces and awkward placements. Unfortunately, that tee's going to hang on the right side, and that's going to be it at 468.
And with that top out, 20-minute warning. There's 20 minutes of qual left. You guys have 20 minutes.
Ooh, Summerburst trying her luck with the 18 starts, trying to see how much more it could be improved there. But just did it as a one-off. Wanted to see what happens. Goes right back to the 9 starts. The 9 starts are working, though. We saw the 500. We'll see what more she has in store. All right, so these players currently, they're early in their respective runs, and we're gonna make use this time to give another shout out, and this time it's to a company that I really enjoy, Enhance, with a very special game to my heart, Tetris Effect Connected, and I'll let Firedox talk more about it.
Yeah, Tetris Effect Connected. Tetris has been available for years, all the way back in 2018, when it was first showcased at the World Championships at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and it's been out for over 8 years now. It is a very popular game, and with that, there's also a new title. Not exactly in the Tetris space, but more in the puzzle space, called Luminous Arise. From the creators of Tetris Effect Connected comes Luminous Arise, a heart-pumping fusion of addictive puzzle gameplay, thumping audio, and eye-popping visuals. Experience a synthetic journey of sound and light through over 30 handcrafted stages, where every block, every combo, and every beat is a feast for the senses. Whether you're advancing the single-player mode, competing in multiplayer, or striving for the top of the leaderboards, the gameplay will draw you in, promising an irresistible allure of just one more round. Available now on PlayStation 5 and Steam. More information available at luminous.game.
All right, funny score for Talvot. It was 383.80. Talvot currently in the middle of a dig and a drought at the same time. Not a great combination that you want to see here. Talvot just struggling to take burns at the top, but gets a bar all the way to the left. Unfortunately, that's going to be it. What a 5-tap, though. And hello, Tetris Mom DMJ, saying to Talvot, drop it like it's hot. Personally, I would find that motivating. All right, Kyradev navigating a somewhat high board and what looked like it could have been a dirty Tetris setup, but Kyradev decided to just burn it down. And Kyradev's going to open up the right side, gets a long bar pretty quickly, and that's going to be 265.78 lines. So not the highest pace, but it can 500 transition. Oh, another messy situation for Kyradev. This one looks a little tougher to get out of, but Roll does offer the ability to get out of even this dig. Oh, but that J probably wasn't intended. Oh, the left side was open for the L piece. Kyradev is still alive, but gonna dead drop the T piece and top out. I was feeling rather hopeful about that down stack, but unfortunately, the dead drop was the end of it. Yeah, we'll just blame the T piece. If T piece was being mean.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Oh my god. The DOO. But I can't believe I just saw Summerburst with 500,000 seats. That was
All right, look at that horizontal J tuck there from Stolen. We haven't talked about Stolen in a while. Look at Stolen's board here. Nice, clean, pristine, waiting on a long bar to score. Tetris, 145,000 points and 50 lines. Gonna get a Tetris and bring it up to 157. This is actually some fairly good pace. And look at that Tetris rate, it's almost 100%, 96. That means that apparently only 2 burns have been taken. So we're going to see how long Stolen's going to be able to keep this level of efficiency up. Like I mentioned early on, 9 starts, they're a little sneaky. You can get a lot of points on a 9 start, so Stolen definitely looking to keep this up. Going to have to deal with this drought, though. The board is clean once again, but it's going to be hard to score if you don't get the long bar. There it is, fortunately. And just like that, Stolen will maintain the high Tetris rate, at least for the time being. Back-to-back bars to further assist.
Yeah, this is a very, very good for Stolen right now. You know, getting a lot of these bars, getting a nice clean stack, 206,000 at 71 lines on the 9 star is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's important. You have to maintain this efficiency. Again, as you go further into the game, you end up scoring more points for every line clear, which also means if you're not scoring Tetrises in a later game, you're actually missing out on more points than if you were to not score Tetrises now. So it's really important to keep this efficiency up through the rest of the game. And so far, Stolen is doing what is needed to keep this score, keep the pace pretty high. In the meantime, Summerburst just a little bit ahead in the line count, already on level 10 off the 9 start. Not doing too bad himself. 225,000 points, taking a triple during yet another drought. The RNG sometimes not being super kind. But Summerburst is going to be able to maintain a nice clean stack after the long bar finally showed up. Stolen's board, unfortunately, a bit messier.
Needs a bar against the bar.
Oh, beautiful pieces. That T is going to open up the right side.
All right, needs a J piece to fill out that dependency and the bar.
This is going to be the last line clear of level 9. Stolen will Tetris into level 10. 283. That is still a very strong score despite the burning situation. Like I said, it's going to be here where you definitely want to stay clean for as long as you can. This is where you can get even more points. There's more to gain and there's more to miss out on. Beautiful. The bar is the best piece for Stolen to get for the right side, as it only requires a single burn. Ooh. That was a... Not the freest J left, but yeah, Stolen managed. There. Oh, Talvot, unfortunate top out, good pace too, 312 at 72. Unfortunately, Stolen's getting droughted right now and being forced into the burns.
But there you go, Tetris, 308,000 for Stolen at level 12.
Kyradev in the meantime, 376, 93 lines, good game so far. This game on track for a 500 transition.
Also, to the players, 10-minute warning. There is 10 minutes left of qual.
All right, Stolen's board climbing up a little bit high again, but the bar comes for some relief. No burns really required, and Stolen's going to go for an overhang setup. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one will work.
There you go, another Tetris. 375,000.
Oh, misdrop. Tucked the J a little too early. And that's going to be multiple burns that are going to be forced. There's a triple. The L can be some help, but still not an ideal situation to be in. Sometimes it's hard with these kinds of boards. You don't run into them super often, so players sometimes having to figure out, you know, they're stacking pieces to the left side, trying to figure out what piece do I need for the right side.
Yeah, some of these boards are honestly kind of confusing if you're not really used to them. But it seems like Stolen is all good. Stolen, there we go. Stolen gets the Tetris 405,000 at level 15. So definitely on pace to beat their 500,000 from a little bit earlier.
And want to bring attention to the other players right now. We have Summerburst on level 17. Unfortunately, going to get into a big mess. If bar doesn't make it to the right, it's going to be the end. But that was another run with the potential to potentially even get 500,000 points again. Meanwhile, we have Kyradev on the cusp of transition. There it is, 566. This is the highest transition Kyradev has had probably since the beginning of the qual. And we're going to see what Kyradev is going to make of this. It's definitely good news for her because this means that it's only going to take about like not even 300,000 points to improve her standing in the quals.
Going back to Stolen very quickly, Stolen's at level 17, 471,000, you know, like less than, yeah, a Tetris and like a double will take him over 500,000. But right now just doing a few little bit of burning here. Let's see, there we go, gets that J. There we go, gets that L piece. Just needs the bar.
All right, Wells back open. Just needs that long bar, but where's the long bar? There it is, but has to use it to open up the well as it was briefly closed. Hopefully a bar can show up for a Tetris this time. But the board's climbing. Stolen cannot wait too long. Where is the long bar? There it finally is, but it hangs! Oh, the bars were just trolling Stolen. They were only showing up when the well was closed. Now to be at 484. Meantime, Kyradev, we have at 619 on level 23. Tetris into 24. A dirty one at that.
Yeah, Kyradev's top score, 818,000. So around 100, just a little over 150,000 points away from getting that. And if Kyradev is able to clean and start getting a little bit of Tetrises, you know, definitely is possible to beat that 100%.
All right, that may not have been an intentional flat placement, but ends up working out quite nicely. Now looking for something for this LJ dependency. Gets the J piece. Ready to start reopening this well. Going to use the J for a split double. And now, that is a Tetris ready setup for Kyradev. Just needs a long bar. And after 18 pieces of waiting, there it is. There's a Tetris for Kyradev, 729. There is plenty of room to improve on this 818, as you can score up to 200,000 additional points from level 26 to level 29. And that's not even to talk about the potential scoring on 29, as Kyradev is, again, rolling.
Yes, that is true. I don't think we've seen any players really have a lot of deep runs into 29 yet on CT3, but, you know, we'll see if Kyradev is able to get there and, you know, potentially get a few levels in, or a few lines in.
All right, nice Tetris setup. There's another 800. Looking for something for the J dependency. The bar is going to work. It's another Tetris setup. That is an improvement on the qual for Kyradev, but definitely wants to take this game as far as she can. Goes for the Tetris into 29. Immediately covers the left side, trying to set some burns up, but that's going to be at an 885. Well done from Kyradev.
Let's go gold!
All right. The players are, by and large, pretty early in their respective games. Farthest one along is Summerburst at 59 lines, 132,000 points, decent pace, so about a 70% Tetris rate. All right, the players are down to 4 minutes in the qual, so less than that of a full game.
Yeah, if you're thinking about maybe resetting or just trying a different speed, then probably now's the time to quickly do a reset. Still got 4 minutes left of qual.
And you can actually see a change up in the strategy a little bit. Stolen's returning to 18 starts after giving it a brief go about. These 18 starts does mean that you have more attempts to go. One of the things about 9 starts is while it's easier to survive on level 9, the reality is the fall speeds of the pieces are slow enough. If you were to do 9 star, by the time you get to 10, your time would already be up. So you have multiple attempts here on level 18 over these remaining 3 minutes to see which of these games look like they could turn into something. So yeah, as we are wrapping up these quals, these players are going to be a lot pickier about which games they find to be worth continuing.
I mean, I think I can make it. I'm going to actually push gold this year, I think. Even though, like, if I make gold, I'm just going to be too much water. But, like, I don't know. I would like to play so yeah, you know what? It works on this year.
All right, 212 for Summerburst. On the verge of transitioning to level 10. Rest of the players are on fresh games. I have to say, I am liking the consistency that I'm seeing from Summerburst. I'm not seeing that many early top outs from level 9 starts. A lot of these games are making it into level 10, and they're making it in with good scores. Like, I'm consistently seeing over 200,000 points into level 10 on these 9 starts, just almost consistently holding these 70% plus Tetris rates. So Summerburst, definitely for even if 500,000 to some people might not look like a lot of points, the consistency by which he's going for like 300s, 400s is really impressive.
Like, I have a bunch of things. So when I was doing some, and we gave me a 5K.
All right, in the meantime, we have Talvot, 32 lines in. This is the next furthest along game of these 4 players. 144,000 points, so this isn't like perfect pace, obviously, but it's still good enough pace. This is a game that Talvot is considered to be worth keeping as we enter our final minute of the qual.
Yep. Final minute of quals. So if you are thinking of resetting, now is probably the time to reset. You have 1 minute.
Oh, it doesn't match up. That's high. So we'll look at that. I'm going to start counting.
All right, 15 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That is it for everyone here in CT3 who is qualifying in session 1. The games you are currently playing are your last. So now these players are definitely going to perhaps change their strategy. At first, it was being picky to see which games look good enough to continue. Now, this is the game they are stuck with. So they might start to focus a little bit more on survival.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what yeah, that's what yeah.
And so far, 3 of the 4 players are continuing their games. 98,000 for Stolen at 36 lines. Really good start again, but however, this board is sloping in the opposite direction of what players typically have. So this could be a tricky situation for Stolen if he doesn't get the right pieces. In the meantime, we have Kyradev, 293, 68 lines, another good game. And Summerburst, 382 at 157 lines, or late level 15, which is yet another good game. Look at this, 400 into level 16. Summerburst may be going out with a bang with this game. Beautiful adjustment of the T-piece to accommodate the Z on the right. And she's going to score another Tetris, 423. 4 Tetrises will lead to an improvement to her qual. Meanwhile, a pair of dirty Tetrises down the right side for Stolen, and Stolen managing to maintain a pretty high Tetris rate as he enters the second half of level 9.
He just started playing Tetris because of me. Yeah, a few months ago. He's in only about 3 months of playing, probably about 4 months of playing. He has a 550 from an 18 start with that.
All right, Summerburst all cleaned up, 450, 500 still on the table before 19. Beautiful J piece after the long bar. That's going to clean things right up for Summerburst. 474. Up to 2 more Tetrises can be scored before level 19. Can she get both? That's a nice adjustment for that second J piece. Gets Tetris ready. The board is still looking nice and clean, just waiting on the long bar. And the long bar is going to show up to get one of the 2 remaining Tetrises possible. Going to take the 2 burns needed. No more burns before level 19. A Tetris right here will immediately lead to an improvement. And there's the long bar. 523 into level 19. And we're going to see how many more points Summerburst can add to that score. Plays the bar flat. That can lead to a line clear, but does not get the J over to left for another single. 524 is going to be the final score for Summerburst. So Summerburst ends by improving the qual one final time.
The final game improvement always feels so good.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
The most satisfying thing in the qual.
Ooh, Stolen recognizing that it wasn't quite Tetris ready for the left well dirty setup, and just going to throw the bar to the right side and use this long bar to score, going to 184. 84 lines. In the meantime, Kyradev on the verge of transitioning. Up to 2 more Tetrises can be scored for level 19. Going to get one of the 2, currently sitting at 523. Beautiful. Kyradev using those pieces, build out the left side. Makes a nice safe stack. Easy to burn if you need to.
Stolen right now actually up high. Gets the bar, needs kind of like a T. There you go, gets the T. Has the bar dependency open, waiting for the bar though.
Oh, the S is not what he wants to see right now, but is able to keep the well open for that long bar. And level 10 is going to be a speed increase, and that's happening in 5 lines, so hopefully... Oh, no, never mind. That bar's going to hang, and that's going to be it at 189. But Kyradev is now the last remaining one in this group. 602 on level 20. This game has potential.
Yes, this game definitely has potential here.
Love to see that T-spin.
Kyradev definitely hoping to get the first 900 here at CT3, or even the first max out here.
Yeah, there is room to max. 600 on 21 is viable. Nice burns for a nice cleanup. However, that S piece, not exactly what you wanted to see, but get some good pieces afterward. And just like that, back to the bottom. The board's very jagged right now and going to get mildly punished with that square piece. Kyradev's going to have to take a couple of burns, but the board now is nice and clean, Tetris ready. Almost as pristine as it gets. Look at this board. Nice Tetris there. 668. Again, a good benchmark for a Maxable is 723. And Tetris will bring her very close to that. However, this board is climbing. The bar is not showing up right now. Need something for the left side. There's the J piece. Right side's open. Where's the long bar? The drought keeps counting upwards. We're 30 pieces in and she's still waiting. Where's the long bar? Oh, that was a tough placement.
Oh my gosh.
But
there's
managed
the
to.
bar. Okay.
All right.
Needs to get something left. There we go. Gets the bar.
But now has some cleanup to do. It's going to lead to a bit of a slowdown, but there's still plenty of room to improve the qual.
Yeah, definitely on pace to at least get a 900 here. That would improve their qual.
The sport's getting messier and messier. 900's looking a little bit more difficult. Something needs to go left at some point, but unfortunately, there's not going to be anything that's going to be that good there, and that's going to be at a 746. Valiant effort for Kyradev, but you're still going to have the highest qual of the 4 players with an 880.
All right. Well, I guess let's go to commentator. Commentator cam.
All right. So it is I, T-Storm.
And it is I, Fire Dogs. Hello.
We've been your commentators for Classic Tetris 3 for a group of 4 fairly skilled players doing their Session 1 quals. And we got to see some very interesting play from these players. You do not just have to watch all of the top players in order to see some interesting Tetris happening here. So Fire Dogs, what do you think of these quals?
You know, I think maybe there's a possibility that maybe they underperformed just a little bit, but you know, they did as well as they could. It is pretty early, like Session 1, and I guess probably, you know, nerves potentially have gotten to them, but you know what? They still played pretty well. They still were playing well, and I'm excited to see how they're going to be doing in the tournaments that they're going to be in.
So Talvot had a qual that was, I believe, 760 or 770. Kyradev with an 880. Historically, the cutoff for bronze, I believe, was around 700,000 points. So do you think, as the field continues to evolve, like, do you think this is still going to be viable? Do you think they can still make the bracket?
Oh yeah, because definitely. Last year the cutoff for bronze was actually like 600. It was like a high 500.
Oh, so high 500. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like a solid placement.
Yeah, I'd say definitely they could make bronze. Silver cutoff is usually around like the 900s, 920s, 930s. So I think it'll be very hard to get into that, but I think they're definitely solidly in bronze, and they're probably heavy favorites going to bronze. I think they could make it really far because they have high PBs.
So since you mentioned the 500s, that means it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Stolen and Summerburst, as their quals were in the low 500s. And that means that it's not really clear whether that's going to be good enough. You have to consider how many people are attending CTWC, how many people are qualing, how many people are qualing with the capability of getting a qual that high, and how many people actually pull through with it. So we'll see what happens. For all we know, all 4 make it in, or maybe only 2. So
yeah,
we'll find out.
We'll find out later. It is going to be interesting to see all the quals happen. Going to be more sessions later in around 20 to 30 minutes. So the last of Session 1 quals are happening right now. So those are going to be finishing up. Then we're going to take a tiny bit of a break, and then new commentators will come in, and the next session 2 will start. I will actually be playing in Session 2 at CT4. So if you do want to watch me qual, I'll be in Classic Tetris 4.
And I will also be qualing in the second session. And if you want to see me qual, tune in person, because I'm offline.
Yeah. Be here. Fly right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You pay someone enough, you can get a private jet.
Yeah. What's that one? JSX? There's this one like random like air company that like has like semi-private fly in. Yep.
Awesome. All right, that's going to be it for us for now. Want to go to the scene background?